Let's welcome in Baylor Acrobatics and Tumbling head coach Felecia Mulkey.
Hi.
Coach, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Good. Well, you know what? I'd say your team is doing pretty well right now. Your team just earned its fourth straight #1 seed for the NCATA championship. I don't think you can get much better than that.
Yeah, I'm really proud of them. They're doing well, and they keep getting better. We just came from practice over here, and they're moving the needle today. We only have 2 more practices before we leave, and they're still trying to get better.
Well, that's what it's all about,
Yes.
continuous improvement, right? Well, the NCATA championship is coming up on April 27th or 24th through 27th. It's in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And why it's there, it's because it's on the campus of Augustana University. What will it be like to go to take this sport into, another city that hosts a university that has an A&T program as the sport continues to grow?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, I'm excited for Augustana to host. Every school that hosts does a lot for their community and education for the sport. So Kaylin Cowan is a former Baylor Bear. She has a new last name. I'm going to forget it. She just got married. But she's the head coach at Augustana, and they're ranked 4th going in. I think it's a 3rd-year program, so she's doing wonderful. She's done a lot for the community there anyway, to teach about acrobatics and tumbling. But what we've seen every time we go into a city and the youth get involved, the families get involved, the community gets involved. So we're pretty excited about that.
Well, that's great to know. You're going to walk in there and there'll be some tremendous excitement and support for the sport of acrobatics and tumbling. So if we look at the upcoming national championship, you'll be facing Limestone in the first round. But tell us about the field, because there are familiar names that are there.
Yes. So it's pretty exciting this year. We have our familiar names. We're 1, Oregon's 2, Quinnipiac is 3, Augustana's new there at number 4. But then you see some new names. Iona is there. I think they're number 6. Number 5 is Fairmont State. That's one of the, I'm going out of order, so track with me. But number 5 is Fairmont State. They have been around for quite some time. They're out of West Virginia. They were one of the original schools. Yeah. Then Iona at 6, and then I think UMHB is at 7, just right down the road. A couple of Baylor Bears coaching down there too. And then number 8 is Limestone, like you said. So it's really fun. I love the fact that you're seeing the new names up there. And as the sport continues to grow, you're going to see, I hope it's always Baylor up there in the top 5, but you're going to see more and more different new names. Iona in for the first time, Augustana. Duquesne just added. This is their first year. I think you're going to see them there in the next couple of years. So yeah, that part is exciting to me to see these programs grow.
Yeah, it's an emerging sport, and you take those an NCAA emerging sport, and so you keep taking those steps towards eventual NCAA recognition. What does it take to get to that point?
It has taken, I feel like, my whole life. We've been at it. So we are an NCAA emerging sport. We got there in 2020, which makes us an official NCAA sport, but that next step is championship status. And that takes you off that emerging sport list. And that is going to happen pretty quickly. So what's going on, we just finished our season, and the next step is to get 40 schools competing in at least 6 meets with at least 18 people. There's all of these little things you gotta check off. And we hit 40 plus schools this season. So we just finished our regular season. So that means that will kickstart NCAA legislation to be voted in hopefully next January to be an NCAA championship sport. And then it'll take a cycle to kind of get the championship nailed down. The biggest difference we'll see is there will be a blue dot on the trophy instead of the NCATA logo, and the NCAA will then run our championship. So I don't know if the field will get smaller. I'm not sure exactly what that'll look like, but it has been a journey. We started it back in 2008 and then finally got emerging sport status in 2020, and here we are in 25. I think we're about to check that next box.
So let's talk about your last competition of the regular season. Number 2, Oregon. You had 5 perfect 10s. You broke the NCATA and Baylor record for the biggest crowd. I mean, the Farrell Center was rocking. And you honored 11 seniors. at that time, one of your managers and a doctoral candidate on your athletic training staff. So, that you see the growth just by the excitement. Anybody who ever comes the first time to see acrobatics and tumbling, I bet they're just pulled in immediately.
I think so. I don't know how you can come and watch the feats of strength. I'd call them little ninjas, these feats of strength they can do, and not really enjoy it. But that was the Oregon meet was special, and that was our team did a fantastic job. We got all these 10s, but what our athletes have been talking about since that night was the crowd. The band came out for them for the first time in history. It was a senior night. It was an epic senior night for those seniors.
It's our weekly Baylor Coaches Show, and it continues with acrobatics and tumbling coach Felecia Mulkey with Baylor A&T, and you have a whole table there full of your student athletes. So thank you for being here. All right. I know, and I'm sure you have a few questions for your coach. And if you want to see Brian, he can take your questions, and we'll get to Coach Mulkey in just a moment. But, hey, 6 weeks ago against Azusa Pacific, senior Jordan Grindler and freshman base Levy McDonald debuted new skills. Typical unbelievable skills by Jordan. But then Levy slides to a split while she's holding up Jordan. So you have strength, you have skill, you have concentration, you have trust. On that day, 3 new skills were debuted. And in that sequence, would you please explain to us what in the world we saw?
Okay, so I think is this the sequence we sent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because they've the stacked hands, handstand, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Let me see if I can remember. Jordan may have to yell out because they have introduced new skills pretty much every time. But okay, so it was a high stacked handstand, which you see a lot in our sport now with hand-to-hand. This is a stacked handstand. And I think that's the one where Jordan went to one arm. Is that the one arm, Joe? No? Oh, the pop over. Okay, so Levy is like this, and Jordan has her hands on there, so they're stacked hands. And then Levy just gives a little pop and goes out like this to a normal high hand-to-hand, which is ridiculous. Like, they just shouldn't be able to do that. Following that, let's see. I can't remember which skill. So, and then Levy then from a standing position slides directly to a split. I don't know if you guys that are in here can see this, but I got a little wooden figurine. But Levy slides directly into a split, and Joe goes to a reverse planche, an arch position. It's amazing. And that's, you guys, Lori, those of you that are on the team, she sent an email last night with this and said, what in the world is going on?
What did I see?
Yeah, and it's really been fun this year because Joe and Levy have been able to, I think at almost every meet, introduce at least one new skill to the sport. And some of these skills are coming from acrobatic gymnastics, but you don't see them in collegiate acrobatics and tumbling. And that's one of the cool things about the sport is it's this melting pot of acrobatic gymnastics and power tumbling and cheer, and they get to come together and learn from one another. But those two are, I have a little wooden figurine of them now. I'm going to have them, Joe and Levy, on my desk all the time.
Well, it was incredible to see it. I love following A&T on Instagram because I love to be able to see, these incredible moves. But that's what makes acrobatics and tumbling so much fun to watch, is that it is so energetic and powerful and amazing. So if you're selling it to somebody who's never been, how would you explain to them what they will experience at an A&T meet?
I always say, if you've never been to a meet, come, and if you do not have fun, I will give you your money back personally. $5 is what it costs to get in for a home meet these days. But I think what you'll see, depending on which half you come into, it's strength, it's power, it's balance, it's elegance, it's teamwork, the ultimate teamwork, the ultimate trust, and it's simply just entertaining to watch. I think if you appreciate female sports in general, particularly women's sports, and you come in and watch it, you'll be mesmerized. I coach them every day, and they surprise me daily. So
it's like the power and grace,
yes,
all at the same
very
time.
Very much so.
And also one thing that, I spend my time with Baylor women's basketball on the sideline with the radio broadcast, and I can always hear this murmur during halftime or right before halftime because the mats go out.
Yes.
And do you realize that nobody ever leaves halftime because Baylor A&T is about to
that's
perform
awesome.
at men's basketball and women's basketball.
Yeah.
What's that like for your student athletes to be able to kind of do a shortened version and show Baylor fans broadly what it is about A&T?
You know, we do those exhibitions. Thank you for asking that. We do them for a couple reasons. One, it's our first time out in public. So for us, we work our nerves out. The entire team is involved, and it's a way to just get out there and just this adrenaline rush. And we do it specifically. They put their own mats out. We roll them out. We create this frantic atmosphere, and then they have to flip the switch and do the team event or a version of our team event. So that's one thing for us to do. The other one, it's just such a great marketing tool to showcase this sport to the fan base of another sport. And I can't tell how many people have come to meets and like, we saw you at halftime, we want to come out. I think for everyone on my team, I can say for sure, is very invested in growing the sport. Yes, they want to compete for Baylor. Yes, they want to win championships. Yes, they want to do all that. But they also understand what part of history that they're playing. So for them to go out and be able to showcase this and explain it and, explain, I guess is not the right word, but showcase it to a group of humans who may not have seen it. That is the most fun. And we work the nerves out at those two exhibitions. And that's two different fan bases, men's and women's basketball. So just really being exposing them to the sport.
I didn't think about that and just kind of getting the shake out those nerves.
Very
a
much
bit.
Part of our process.
And it is so much fun. And let's go back real quickly and remind people that the championships are coming up April 24th through 27th. You'll take on Limestone University. You've only faced them one time in program history, and that was way back February 9th, 2020. And I just went, because things changed about a month later. But how fun to be able to take on them again as you pursue another national championship. How many national championships have there been, Coach, and how many have you won?
There have been 13 I have to count on my hands. 13 NCATA championships, and at Baylor we've won 9. Hopefully 10 here next weekend, and then at Oregon I was able to win 4. So
you're 100%.
I'm 100% so far.
I think that's what I was trying to get at. So we're blessed to have you at Baylor and be the head coach of this incredible team and this sport that we know will be an NCAA sport really soon, because there's absolutely nothing like acrobatics and tumbling. Back with us live at Rudy's, the Baylor Coaches Show with Baylor Acrobatics and Tumbling head coach Felecia Mulkey. And Coach, I think it's time for some questions.
Okay.
We will start with Jessica Bankale. Of all the A&T events, which would you want to compete in?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. You know what? I think the most nerve-wracking event to compete in is particularly compulsory acro. So I wouldn't want to go there. I liked toss would be fun if they wanted to throw me around in the air. That would be fun. And then team event I think is fun when there's so many people out there with your team, with all of your teammates.
Those are all good choices there. For Michael Bankale, what core values do you instill in your athletes to build both champions and strong individuals beyond the mat?
Core value. That's wow. This is a good question. I don't know. What do you guys think I instill? It's not about you. Okay. We do. So selflessness. What else would you guys say? Accountability, selflessness. We talk about that stuff from the very beginning. We before me and whatnot. But I do think it comes down to we want to be the physically and the mentally toughest team in the country, and to do that we have to trust one another. So you need accountability. And you need to know that it's not about you. That's actually written on our floor when you walk into our practice facility. It's about us, not you. So, yeah.
I think it's working out really well.
It's working so far.
It is. So who are some of the standout athletes from other schools to watch out for when you look at the upcoming championships?
Oh, gosh. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Iona has a great little tumbler, Ty Upton. She's a transfer in from Gannon. I don't know that we'll end up seeing Iona, but they have a great team. Oregon has some I'm trying to think of why do I not know anybody's names, you guys? I'm terrible. I know, let's see. There's some acro athletes on the Oregon team that are in their 5-element acro, and I'm gonna be terrible at their name. I can't remember. Cassidy Koo is her name, the little top. She's fantastic. I think all of our acro athletes knew each other from before, the acrobatic gymnastics athletes. Angelica Martin, I think, is the base. And they're really doing a lot of big things for Oregon. So they have a great acro group this year too. There's just too many to name.
And that's a great problem to have, isn't it? Okay, is this one of yours, young boy? Is that right?
Yes.
Did I say that right?
Yes, I know. Yes, I see.
Hey,
her.
when did Justin Bieber join the
Oh my
acro team?
gosh, I should tell you. So fun story. I think I said this on the last coaches show, but I hear this ruckus down in the practice facility, and I look out my window, and they have this life-size Justin Bieber cut out up on something, and they're having a fake Justin Bieber concert around. And I don't question these things. So when I walk down to practice, everyone's always standing in a semicircle for me to walk up and talk. And Justin's in the circle. The next day we practiced out in the arena, and everybody was already out there. I walk out. They have him behind the DJ booth with a hat on. I don't know if you guys know this, athletes on the team. Did you know that one of the workers, the security guys at the Farrell, put a credential on Bieber? So at the meet, he was also in the stands with a credential.
All right.
So yeah.
All right, so he's official now. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
All right. From Felix the cat. Now, Felix isn't a cat.
No, he's my dog.
Okay.
Yeah, one of them.
Will you take your athletes to the actual falls in Sioux Falls?
Oh. No, I mean, I think you should probably talk to Treasure about that before me look at them all, look back at her. But that would actually be kind of fun. We should see that. Yeah, we should do a field trip. What a great question, Felix the cat.
Hey. And you have some of your staff here?
Yes, yeah. My director of ops is here. Athletic trainers, yes. Kristen and Katie. Katie is the one who's leaving us this year. We don't want her to. She's our doctoral candidate. And then Courtney Oates, one of the assistant coaches, is back there. And my husband's back there.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, welcome all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mary Ann also has another question for you. All right. This is always hard for a coach because you got to win the first game to get to the next thing. Who do you want to see on day 3, Oregon or Quinnipiac?
That's a great question. So we haven't gotten to see Quinnipiac in a couple of years, and they're a great team. I think our seniors competed against them in the semifinals their sophomore year. It was a great meet. So I think if you ask my team, they would tell you Quinnipiac. But I think that's going to be a great meet. If Oregon and Quinnipiac win their first meets and they're against each other, that's going to be a great meet to watch. I don't know. I think I'd like to see Quinnipiac. I haven't seen them in a few years, so it would be fun to compete against them.
All right, that's April 24th through 27th, the NCATA Championships coming up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. All right, we've got AK. Any upset predictions for the national championship this year?
I don't know. I can't. I think the Fairmont State and the Augustana meet on. So those of you that watch it, it's going to be on ESPN Plus if you want to watch it. But Augustana and Fairmont State have very similar start values. That's going to be the first night. So I don't know if that's an upset alert, but that's going to be a really great meet. I think Augustana's 4, Fairmont's 5. And then I think the Quinnipiac Oregon meet is going to be real. That is a possibility because they saw each other in the regular season, and Quinnipiac had them on the ropes. I think it was a mistake in the last heat or the last event that cost Quinnipiac the meet. So that's going to be a good one. I don't know if that's an upset alert, but that's one to watch too.
Okay, we've got about 30 seconds.
Okay.
This one's from Pay. What is your favorite moment of the season so far?
Oh, by far. The band walking in when at that meet, and then the coolest thing after the video, we were going out their video, and they run out, and the band actually playing the fight song. By far one of my, and there's some other memories that probably aren't appropriate for here with our team. You never know what they're going to do, but that was just a really surreal moment for me because I said this before, but when we created the sport, the atmosphere that Baylor created in the Farrell that Saturday is what we pictured. So for us, we were like, we were emotional. So.
And you won.
Yeah, and that was fun too. That was fun too.
Took care of business. That was the important thing. Well, thanks for being with us, Coach Felecia Mulkey with Baylor Acrobatics and Tumbling. We look forward to seeing Baylor A&T take on number 8 Limestone University, 4:30 p.m. Thursday, April 24th on ESPN Plus. So don't miss that.